Hey everyone, how you doing today? It's John here with a new pickups video. Today I'm going to show you some pickups I've gotten this past month over the course of July, and it's going to be an interesting pickups video actually because we're going to be all over the place, both format wise, release wise, and genre wise. Uh, what I mean by that is I just don't have vinyl pickups to show you or CD pickups to show you. I have vinyl, CDs, and cassettes to show you. As for genre, I got in albums here that range from classic rock to thrash metal to a little bit of death metal and even glam and mostly glam metal. And lastly, this is gonna be a diverse uh pickups video as far as release goes because not only I have regular albums here, I also have live albums to show you, singles to show you, and even a bootleg to show you. So, without further ado, let's get into this pickups video. We're gonna start off with the cassette that I got, the sole cassette that I've gotten to show you, and that is Vinnie Vincent Invasion's All Systems Go album from 1988. Now, this album was the second and last Vinnie Vincent Invasion album before the band split up a year later. And as for the cassette itself, it's in near mint condition. Like, I pulled it out and not worn out at all. Tape plays great. Whoever had this probably bought it, played it once, and never played it again. Hey, which is a plus for me. But anyways, as for my opinion on this album, I used to not like this album back in the day. I liked the first Vinnie Vincent Invasion album a lot when I was getting into his band, but as for this album, I only liked That Time of Year and Love Kills, and everything else didn't do much for me until I started revisiting this album a little bit as of last year, and then of course revisiting it again when I got the tape, and I've actually grown to like more of the songs on this album. Granted, the other songs besides Love Kills and That Time of Year, most of the other songs are like, kind of cheesy, glam metal stuff, but I dig some of it, like, I like Dirty Rhythm. I know that song is very cheesy, but I don't know, it's a fun song. Dirty Rhythm's a cool song. Love Kills, like I said, is a great ballad, one of Vinny's best, I think. Burn is a cool tune. Um, Left Freedom Rock is a badass song. That Time of Year is my favorite song on here. Probably, arguably, the greatest song that Vinny ever wrote. Um, yeah, I do admit the second half of the album does fall down a little bit. After That Time of Year, you get three filler tracks like Heavy Pendant, Ecstasy, and Deeper and Deeper. But hey, the album finishes with a killer tune called Breakout. So it's not all that bad. I would say this is as good as the first Vinnie Vincent Invasion album because even though I do like uh, a good majority of the album, it still has its clunkers here and there. So, and same thing with this. So, Vinnie Vincent Invasion album, pretty good album. Check it out if you're a Kiss fan, and if you're just what's it called, a diehard glam metal fan. All right, now we're gonna go into the CDs, and let's see here. I got 3 CDs to show you. And you know what? I'm gonna start off with the big guns. Slayer's Decade of Aggression. Hell yeah. This is original from 1991. Double CD. Back when double CDs used to come in these big fat jewel cases. So it has the original hype sticker on it, and man, when I got this and played it when I got home, man, it was fun. I'll admit, the live versions of these songs aren't really as good as the studio versions because, Tom Araya, he doesn't sound as good live as he does studio. I'm sorry if I piss anyone off by saying that, but I'm going to be honest. He doesn't sound that great on here, but Slayer shouldn't be known for their vocals. It should be known by the energy and the aggression, and this is what this live album brings. Like there's no overdubs on here, so it's purely raw and live, and it just sounds fantastic. Like, Tom Araya's raps in between the songs. Like he dedicates mandatory suicide to the veterans of the Persian Gulf War. Um, he also like before they go into Dead Skin Mask, he's like, "Let me tell you a story about a man named Ed." This and that. But then he also has time to, act serious and tell people to, like, look out for each other in the pit and stuff because obviously every Slayer show has an insane pit going on. Um, I gotta say, another complaint I have about this CD is Jeff Hanneman's solo during Seasons in the Abyss. I love Jeff Hanneman's solo on that song. It's kind of melodic and stuff, has a cool vibe to it. But on the live version here, Jeff Hanneman, I don't know what he did, but he kind of improvised and messed it up. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't nitpick here. It's a great live album, and I know I said earlier that these live versions aren't as good as the studio versions, but I'll also point out some, highlights on here that were cool to hear live. Like Hell Awaits is awesome to hear live. South of Heaven was great to hear live. Raining Blood, they kind of did it a little bit too fast, but it was cool. Jesus Saves was cool to hear live. Dead Skin Mask, Season in the Abyss, Mandatory Suicide, hell yeah. Angel of Death sounded great on here. Chemical Warfare sounded awesome on here. Just great live album. You already know about this. Slayer. Alright. Now I know I'm going to get some shit for this, but hey, I said we're going to be we're going to be diverse, alright? We're going to go all over the place. So, we're going to jump from Slayer to Bon Jovi. Yeah, please don't give me shit in the comments, okay? I'm diverse when it comes to my rock and metal taste, okay? So yeah, Bon Jovi's New Jersey. Alright, so I have a funny relationship with Bon Jovi, okay? So, when I was growing up and stuff, I used to hear them on 80s radio and stuff because that's what I grew up on from my parents. And I used to like, the big hits like You Give Love a Bad Name and all of that. And I think I even still have it actually. I still have my Slippery When Wet vinyl that I got when I was like 12 years old. And then afterwards, when I fully started getting into rock and metal, I was like, Bon Jovi isn't that great anymore. Blah, blah, blah. But I noticed though, in the past 2 years, I've actually started to like them again. I don't know, man. It's just something I started, growing on. They started growing on me again, and like, hey, man, I like some melodic stuff. I like some catchy stuff in my taste. So they bring that, and went back and listened to Slippery When Wet. Yeah, it does have some clunkers on it, but I still enjoy some of the hits on there, and there's a couple of deep tracks that are good on there. I even like some of the first album. The first album actually is probably the most heaviest Bon Jovi album. But enough of those two albums. Let's talk about New Jersey for a second. So, New Jersey. Before buying the CD, I had only listened to the album in its entirety once. Obviously, I know all the hits on here, like of course, Lay Your Hands on Me, Bad Medicine, Born to Be My Baby, all that stuff. And I was in a record store a couple weeks ago, and I saw this here for $5. I'm like, you know what? Let me check out the rest of this album. I remember listening to the whole thing. It didn't do much for me, but let me give it another shot. So I buy it, I put it on, and it was kind of disappointing. Yeah, to the few Bon Jovi fans that actually watch me, yeah, I'm sorry. This album kind of disappointed me, but I can go track by track for you if you want. Alright, opens with Lay Your Hands on Me. Fun, catchy tune. Not one of my favorite Bon Jovi songs, but it's alright. It gets the fun going, Then Bad Medicine, although I'm burnt out on it, it's still a fun song with a big chorus. Born to Be My Baby, although it's cheesy as hell, I admit it, I do kind of like it. Okay? I do kind of like it. But it seems like after Born to Be My Baby, the album just takes a nosedive into shit. Like Living in Sin, Boring Ballad, Blood on Blood, sheesh, one of the worst tracks on here. Repetitive, long, and just too, even for me, too poppy. Homebound Train, forgettable filler. Wild as the Wind is okay. It has a cool guitar intro from Richie, and it's okay the chorus and stuff, but still though it still goes on a little bit too long. Ride Cowboy Ride is pointless. It sounds like it just sound. It's a pointless track. It sounds like it's recorded off of a vinyl record, and it, and it's only a minute and a half. It's like why? It's pointless. And then Stick to Your Guns. Same thing with Blood on Blood. It goes on for way too long, too poppy, and too repetitive. Then I'll Be There For You, the other big hit. I am not a fan of Bon Jovi's ballads. I'm gonna be the first to say that. I do not like their ballads. I don't like. I hate. I hate that song. Never Say Goodbye. Um, I never liked. I'll Be There For You. It's always been a sucky ballad. Never liked it. And then 99 in the Shade has some energy to it. It tries to rock, but doesn't really fully do it. And then it ends with Love for Sale, which is just, once again, filler again. So, besides the hits at the beginning and that one song in the middle, this album is not that good. I'm sorry. Good thing this thing was only $5 because if this thing was $10, I would have wanted to I would have returned this and wanted my money back. But hey, I'll hold on to it. It does have its few moments. So yeah, Bon Jovi, New Jersey. All right, and now the last CD I bring to you is, I know I'm gonna get more shit from this, but I don't care. Okay. All right, it's Ghost. With their brand new live album / soundtrack right here, right now. So if anybody who's watching me is a Ghost fan like me, you already know that Ghost released, try to do what Taylor Swift did. They try to release a live album that's like also a concert video in the theaters, and they only had it in theaters for like a couple days and stuff. I didn't go see it because I was a bit busy at the time. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure I go out and get the live album. And excuse me. And now, after listening to it, I kind of regret not going to the movie because this live album actually sounds pretty good. I got this on the first day it came out, which was last Friday, and I immediately enjoyed it, actually. I'll go into the songs in a second, but I just want to show you guys the pictures in here that look really cool. That's a cool picture of Tobias, and then a cool picture of a ghoul. Some cool pictures. Badass shot of the stage. Look at that. And then some credits. So yeah. This live album has a pretty good production. It was recorded at the LA Forum in June of last year, I believe, or sometime last summer. And this is my first time actually ever hearing Ghosts live. Like, yeah, obviously I've seen, like, you know, YouTube clips from here and there, but I never never listened to Songs of Devotion or whatever it's called, the live album from 2017. I need to hear that. I have to check that out, but I haven't had the time yet. So this is my first time hearing Ghosts live, and I think they put on a pretty good set here. Since it is the Imperator, Re-Imperator, I guess they called it, from last year. They have most of the songs from Imperator, which is my favorite album from them. like Kaiserion, Spillways, Call Me Little Sunshine, and even Respite of the Spitfalls. Now that was a surprise for me because that's the last track on the album. It's long, it's epic. I'm like, man, this is probably just gonna be a cool deep cut that's never gonna be played live. Well, thankfully I was wrong because they actually played it live at this show and they recorded it, so it sounds great actually. Um, of course you got the typical stuff on here like Mariana Cross. They play live here, but they have Kiss the Go Goat on here, which is fun. They have Cirque from Meloria on here, which is a cool version of it. Absolution sounds cool on here. Watcher in the Sky, another song from Impero, that sounds great. I wish they would have had Hunter's Moon on here, which, which, which is one of my other favorite songs from that album. And I wish they would have had one of the songs from Phantom Mime on here. I know last year, the Phantom Mime EP that came out last year, the covers EP. I wish they would have played one of the songs from there, and I know they did because I saw YouTube clips last year of them playing "Jesus He Knows Me," the Genesis song, which is from that EP. Why is it not on here? You could have easily replaced let's see here, Miasma or whatever with that, but whatever, man. Tobias, he's a pretty good performer. He doesn't talk too much in between songs. They mostly go from song. He mostly goes from song to song, but he does have his moments where he talks in between. Like he can be funny at times. Like he tells the crowd like, "I know it's a Monday night, but can we pretend it's a Friday and stuff?" And then he's like, then after he says that, he asks the crowd, "What day is it?" And everybody shouts Friday, which is kind of funny. And then at the end and stuff, he's like, "All right, this is the last one. So after this, you're out of here." And then when the last song is over, which is Square Hammer, he says, "Be nice to everyone on your way out. And if you don't have anyone to fucking home, go fuck yourself." That's funny. But anyways, he does have some serious moments. So like during the breakdown, and I believe I think during the breakdown, if you have Ghost, he talks about life and stuff, how it could be a roller coaster, how good times and bad times, how being at a show and stuff is one of the good times, and then after the show you might run into a bad time, this and that, and that kind of struck a nerve with me because me and my family have been going through a hard time in the past year and a half and stuff, health wise. So for him to of him saying that, I could relate to it 100%. Um, but anyways, back to the songs. They have a new song on here called "The Future Is a Foreign Land," and uh, it's kind of mid for me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, "Future is a Foreign Land." I don't even know what to think of it, to be honest. It's like kind of like a folkish kind of tune. But it sounds like it's from the '60s, and the setting of the song is supposed to take place in 1969 because Tobias says in 15 years it'll be 1984, and then all of a sudden later on they start talking about 2024. It's like, I don't know, but it doesn't rock at all. It's mostly like chill, and yeah, it's okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what to think of it, but hey, as a whole, this live album is pretty fun to listen to. So, Ghost right here, right now. Now we're gonna go into the vinyls, and the first vinyl I got here is a 7-inch, and I already know, bro. I shouldn't have showed the Slayer later because with between the Bon Jovi and the Ghost and now this, you guys all are all gonna think I have a pussy taste in music, but hey, it's just how it goes, man. If I see something in a record store I like, I get it. All right, here we go. It's Whitesnake's "Is This Love" 7-inch single. I love me some Whitesnake, okay? The '87 album is my favorite. I know that's kind of generic to say, but hey, it is the album that got me into the band, and that album has tons of great tunes on there. You have the classics on there like this, "Still the Night," and "Here I Go Again," but I never been a fan of "Here I Go Again." But it has some cool deep cuts on there like "Bad Boys," which is a ripping tune. That's actually my favorite Whitesnake song Bad Boys, and then Children of the Night is awesome on there. Give Me All Your Love, killer stuff on there. But I saw this at a record store for like $2, and I'm like, you know what, I'll take it. Not a bad deal at all, and it's in pretty good condition, the 7-inch, and it has Bad Boys as a B-side. What else can I say? I guess I could talk about Whitesnake a little bit more. I like Slip of the Tongue a little bit. It's not as good as this, but Slip of the Tongue has some good songs on there too. Like I love the remake of Fool for Your Loving. I like both the original and the remake. Steve Vai sounds great on that album in general. Caden's Got Claws is a cool tune on there. But it has its weak moments, like the ballad on there, like Now You're Gone, is just them trying to do Is This Love Again, and it's not as good, okay? But I'd like the 84 album too, the Whitesnake 84 album. But yeah, man, like I'm not the most diehard Whitesnake fan, but I'm a fan of like the 84 self-titled all the way to Slip of the Tongue. Those 3 albums I like. So anyways, yeah, Whitesnake is a little collector's piece right here. I already have the album on the 87 album on CD and cassette, but I just wanted to get this as like a little collector's thing. All right. Now we're going to get back on track with an original copy of Alice Cooper's Muscle of Love. And in true Alice Cooper fashion, or I should say Alice Cooper the band fashion, this one comes in a unique looking packaging. Just like with I think starting with Killer, the Alice Cooper band always released their albums in like some weird format. Like Killer had a weird fold out thing that turned into a poster of Alice hanging, and then School's Out was kind of like a school desk, and they opened it and had like it had like panties inside or something like that. And then Billion Dollar Babies was like a wallet with pictures that you could take out, and had $1 billion inside. And then this Muscle of Love. So this is the last album from the Alice Cooper band. It kind of broke up the band, to be honest, and it was poorly received. Although it did well, it wasn't as good as Billion Dollar Babies, but I actually kind of enjoyed this record. I think there's some underrated tunes on here from the original Alice band. And hell, I'd take this album over some of Alice's solo work. Like this album is definitely better than Go to Hell and Lace and Whiskey, and some of the modern Alice albums like Along Came the Spider and stuff like that. I think this album is much better than those. But anyways, let's back to the packaging. This one for Muscle of Love, it's kind of like a cardboard thing. With the band doing like nude wrestling or something like that. I'm kind of confused, but it's cool though. They have this little thing here, which is actually supposed to be like a yearbook slip. You're supposed to put it around like a yearbook or some book. Now that's kind of cool, but hey, man, I kind of wish bands would do this more often, because it seems like in the 70s a lot of bands used to have all this unique packaging and goodies inside the records. Like look at the Kiss albums from the 70s and stuff. But hey, Alice Cooper did it first, and I wish more bands kind of did that with their packaging. But anyways, back to the songs. This album starts off with a cool track called Big Apple Dreamin'. Great tune. Muscle Love, the title track, is a good hard rocking song. I love the single from Cure, Teenage Laments 74, with some relatable lyrics at the time, like Alice being a teenager trying to play guitar and his parents telling him to turn it down. Let's see what else. I like Man with the Golden Gun. I know that was supposed to be I forget which James Bond movie, but it was turned down, which is kind of a shame. It's a good song. Wholehearted Alice is a cool ballad with some creepy atmosphere. And what else? I think that's it. But this album as a whole, it's not bad at all. Like it ranges from classic rock. It has some of it has some glam rock moments. It even has some art rock moments too. And I enjoyed it for the most part. So Alice Cooper, Muscle of Love. If you if you're already an Alice Cooper fan, you probably already know this. But if anybody that likes that likes some early early 70s classic rock or glam rock like the New York Dolls or something like that, check this album out. You might dig it. And now we get into the last vinyl that we got here and the last pickup for today. This is the bootleg that I was talking about earlier, and a bootleg that I've been playing constantly on my stereo for the last week. This is Iron Maiden's 7th tour of a 7th tour. This bootleg was recorded in Indianapolis, Indiana on June 27th, 1988. Although the bootleg company accidentally put the wrong date here. It says February 27th. It's supposed to be June 27th. But anyways, this is from a bootleg company called Heavy Metal Records. It's from Japan. And I saw this at a record store, actually my favorite record store of all time, Welfare Records in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Go check them out if you're near, if you're ever in the area. That's where I also got my Vinnie Vincent cassette, my White Snake CD, my White Snake 7-inch, and many other stuff in my collection. All right, quick plug over. Anyways, this bootleg. It's fairly new release. And it comes with a poster. Whoops. There we go. Check that out. And as for the sound quality, it sounds pretty damn good in my opinion. It's double vinyl, double album. Light blue colored vinyl. Actually, the other record on my turntable. Show you right there. But yeah, as for the sound quality, it sounds pretty damn good. It's a little bit distant as for the vocal wise. Like at the beginning, it's kind of you could hear Bruce okay, but he's not that clear. But a couple songs in, he starts becoming more clear in the mix. Steve's bass tone is very present on here. You can hear his bass loud on here, and it sounds awesome. Like Steve Harris is the reason why I even picked up the bass guitar in the first place. Like he's like my hero when it comes to bass playing. And even songwriting, to be honest, I have a lot of his tropes and stuff, like the gallops and licks and stuff. So hearing him raw live like this on a bootleg, it sounds amazing. It's very clicky sounding, like that kind of stuff. It sounds awesome. Bruce sounds good overall. I know this is a tour where he was really getting tired. His vocal range was practically shot at this point, but he did an okay job and stuff. The twin lead guitar attack of Dave Murray and Adrian Smith sounds really good on here. And Nico, as always, kills. The crowd response is okay, although not that responsive. But then again, though, it is Iron Maiden playing in the U.S., and the U.S. audiences aren't as good as the foreign U.S. audiences and stuff. But I actually try to do some research on the show, because you think they would have like something in the packaging here talking about the show, but that's not the case. So I looked it up. The show, like I said, was on June 27th, 1988, not February 27th. Because if it was February 27th, the album wasn't even released yet. And it was at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis with a capacity with about 4,000 people going. I couldn't find any pictures from the show, but I was able to find an original concert promotion ad for it, and I printed it out and put it in the record. So as you can see, Guns N' Roses opened the show, which is cool. And listening to the bootleg, I like some of Bruce Dickinson's talking in between. Like before he goes to Can't Play with Madness, he introduced the song by saying we have a new single out that you might hear on the airwaves, or probably not, since the airwaves are filled with piles of shit. But you already know about that, yeah. And before Wasted Years, he talked about how the band wrote it while they were on tour a couple years prior, and think about like this and that, but the song is about living in the moment. Just basically type out the whole thing about the song, and it sound. But I just like his little raps and his little talking in between the crowd. Like I like how Bruce doesn't have like raps like like Paul Stanley or Blackie Lawless. He's just honest and sincere when he talks to the crowd and stuff. And yeah, uh, and like I said, the sound quality, it's pretty much clear for the most part. A bit and not that distant at all actually. It's not it is a tiny bit distant, but not that bad. And like I said, the bass is loud and you can hear it pretty good, and the guitars sound good on here. There's not that much crowd chatter, so you're not listening like to a song and then you hear someone say something randomly out of nowhere. Like no, that doesn't happen at all here, thankfully. Um, this is actually my second Iron Maiden vinyl that I no my second Iron Maiden bootleg that I've gone in. I have the other bootleg I have is Iron Maiden live in Belgrade, 1986, which is the first show of the Somewhere in Time tour, which is a show that they played Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner for the first and only time. So I have that, and this is my second one. I am a big Maiden fanatic, as all of you know, so I'm trying to expand my collection. I already own most of the albums already, either on vinyl or CD, so I'm expanding now to bootlegs and hopefully singles. I have a couple of Iron Maiden singles. I have the original Run to the Hills 12-inch from Germany, and I also have a 12-inch German single for Women in Uniform. But hey, I'm getting there, man. Like I'm not. I I hope not to get to the point where I'm ordering stuff off of Discogs and stuff. Nothing gets Discogs, but Iron Maiden singles can be very expensive on there and stuff. So I'm just trying to find whatever I can out in the wild, and just Iron Maiden bootlegs in general. Like you can't even buy Iron Maiden bootlegs on Discogs. Discogs blocks it. So I'm just hoping to see what I can find in the wild, like how I did with this. And I'm lucky I was able to find this. So yeah, I'm babbling a little bit too much, so I think it's time that we wrap this up. So, that concludes my new pickups video for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. I just want to show you guys I'm still around, still kicking. As for my current situation and stuff in life, I don't want to get too much into it, but I did graduate high school a couple months ago, which was awesome. I'm so happy to finally be done with high school, and then I'm gonna be off to college next month. Don't worry, I'm not going to. I'm still gonna be able to make videos. It's not like I'm gonna be living on campus. I'm gonna be traveling and stuff, commuting, I guess you call it. So I also have time to make videos, make TikToks here and there and stuff. I actually made a TikTok earlier this morning. Actually, another Iron Maiden one, of course. But I'll still be around, and you'll find some videos in the very near future. Actually, in fact, you'll find some videos this weekend because I'm going to a concert. That concert I am not going to spoil, but you guys will be interested, though. So, thank you so much for watching this video and entirely. If you're here for its entirety, you are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out for the whole thing. That goes to show that you can tolerate me and interested to see what I got. And thank you so much again for checking this out, and like I said, new videos coming in the very near future. Take care, everyone. Peace.